I don't know where I'm going to start this video off. I'm just going to roll the camera and just talk to you guys. But as you guys can tell by the title of the video, I don't even want to say it because it just hurts so bad. And I just know I'm just going to get made fun of and I'm going to get bullied. And it all just started when I played against the Huntsmen in a scrim and I dropped 7 kills and I saw Formal and I saw Scump and I saw Arcenies on the map and I just couldn't do anything. And these guys just straight up demoralized me. And then my teammates, they all called me after, all of them. They all called me and they just said, Doug, your performance in this scrim was unacceptable. And if this is any indication of you as a player, then we're not going to be able to play with you at champs because you're talking about winning champs all the time. You want to be number 1, but you can't even get a freaking kill. You can't get 1 kill, so Doug, we're benching you. Your year's over. You're done. That's it. And for someone like me who tries so hard and is always gets the short end of the stick, it just sucks, man. You know, it just. And I'm playing, guys. No, seriously, I'm playing. I just like took some I took some ice and I just like rubbed it in my eyes. But yeah, as you guys can tell by the title of the video, I did get benched. And I have so much I want to talk to you guys about in this video. There's so many different things I want to address. And I think I owe it to you guys. And I just want to reflect a lot on this whole year in general because this whole year was just a complete whirlwind that nobody expected. And partly from COVID, but honestly, I think since COVID, it really helped my chances of competing on this game. And I'm going to explain that in this video. So I want you guys to just sit back, relax, and just hang out and let's just have a conversation. Let's just talk. Because if you guys follow competitive Call of Duty, or if you follow me in general, you know how much it means to me. You guys know how much I love competitive Call of Duty and how much I want to see this scene grow and thrive, right? And that was my intention coming into this year as a player. Because in Black Ops 4, I didn't play the game for competitive. And I came into this year with franchising and I said, hey, it's going to be really hard. Like, I'm thinking in my head, guys, like, yo, all right, like, this is my psyche. I'm like, all right, like, I'm looking at all these players. I'm looking at all these teams and these names. And these are guys I've been playing against forever. And I've always, you know, played against them, won some tournaments. Like, I'm just used to this level of competition. I've been on the top level for a decade of Call of Duty. And I know what to do, but I understand that with franchising coming up and players getting 6-figure salaries and not playing from last year, and for some reason a lot of these teams really want to evaluate your last year's performance going into a new Call of Duty, which if you've been around Call of Duty since day one, you know that no matter what you did in the year prior, it does not and it never will 100% translate into the new game. Just because you had a great year on one game doesn't mean that you're going to have a great year on the next game. But it was very, very weighed going into franchising. And because of that, I knew it was going to be really difficult for me to be a starter in the league. And I know a lot of people would feel jealous or some type of way and say, why is he becoming a starter if he was just sitting on, like, not playing Call of Duty and then he just gets to be a starter like that? Like, he needs to earn it. He needs to, like, there's people out there that are like that. But I understand it, and I obviously wanted to get a starting spot going into the year, and I pushed for it. But if I'm not going to get a starting spot, I'm totally fine. And I made this very clear multiple times that if I can't be a starter, I'll prove to people why I should be one because I believe in myself, and no one's ever going to take it away from me, guys. And I think it's very important in life to believe in yourself and to have a lot of self-confidence, and that's something that I don't lack. So going into this year, I knew that no matter what the game is, I don't care if it's 5 versus 5, 4 versus 4, Modern Warfare with squad spawns, which nobody could have predicted, or regular traditional Call of Duty. I'm the type of guy where I just like to put my head down, play for 12 hours a day, watch film, and just be the best player that I could possibly be. And I guess what I'm really disappointed with the most, guys, with being benched from Triumph and not being on that team anymore, even though it was only for like a week and a half, is that the reason I was benched isn't for any other reason, simply other than the fact that, one, the team needed an assault rifle player, and two, I clearly haven't had enough practice on the game in their eyes. So if you guys don't know, like, I had a tryout with Triumph. I was their third option, and because those guys know me and they know me over the years of playing, they gave me a tryout for their team. I played so well in the tryout, guys. I wish I had the VODs recorded of it. I was just playing incredible. We're playing against UIU, which is one of the top challenger teams. They actually just won the cup like last weekend. And two of the players on that team actually ended up getting called up to the league, and they play on Optic now. And that's who I was playing against in my tryout. I killed the tryout, guys. I played so well that I got a call from them after, and they told me word for word, Doug, like, you're not getting picked up for your following. You're not getting picked up for any reason other than the fact that you earned this spot, and you were one of the best players, and you deserve this, so we're going to run with you. Now, unfortunately, over that next week and a half when we played, the scrims weren't going that well. Despite that, we still got 4th in the tournament. We lost last map. I had a horrible performance in the last series. Here nor there, it doesn't even matter at all. They just didn't feel confident because I didn't have enough practice on Modern Warfare in their eyes. And it really sucks to me because I don't like to make excuses for performance, because if I'm going to play bad, I'm going to tell you guys that I play bad. In that tournament when I played with Triumph, I played really good in a couple of matches. I had a really good match versus Pentagram's team, who's one of the top challenger teams. They were the 3rd seed, and I was a really big reason why we were able to get past them. But overall in the tournament, I didn't play too well versus some of the other teams, and I could have definitely played a lot better. So I am disappointed in myself, and I have no one to blame but myself when it comes to my performance, and also this hairline over here, because I'm sure some of you guys are thinking about, like, yo, Doug, what's up with your hairline right now? I don't know what happened with my barber, but my hairline is all messed up. I came in and he was like, Doug, what'd you do to your hair? And I think it's literally from stress of, like, I go like this and I'll like pull some of my hairs, and I think I'm literally pulling my hairs out from the amount of stress I've been in. And that's really what I want to talk about mostly in this video, just this year in general, and being in this league in year 1, and how hard and difficult it was for somebody who was a substitute specifically, because I love Call of Duty. I love New York. I love New York subliners. And I'm thinking in my head coming into this year, if I could be a professional on the New York subliners, even if it's as a substitute, I'll find a way of being the best. I'll text my coach and I'll say, hey, like, I'm a great asset to this team. What can I do? Can you help me? Like, where can I get practice? How can I be the best player I could be? Because regardless of what you guys think, if you're a substitute, you're supposed to say game ready. That is literally what your job's entitlement and description is to be able to substitute in for a player if you need to be subbed in. So my logic is, well, if I'm a substitute, then I need to be ready, because if I'm going to get subbed in and I wasn't able to get any practice, I'm going to hold the team back. And if I hold the team back, our team's not going to do well. And if our team doesn't do well, that's not good, because this is a team game and we got to win. So obviously I'm a cog in that wheel. So I need to be the best cog that I can be. I got to be oiled up. I got to be greased up. I got to be fresh. I got to be energetic. I got to go. I got to do it. I got to go. But the way that everything was set up this year just really hurt me. And not only just me, but a lot of other substitutes too. So it's really disheartening, because I've talked to the league at length, guys, and I told them the issues that I had, and I'm not going to vent all this stuff out on the internet, but it just really sucks that we have players like me that are sitting on the bench that love competitive Call of Duty, that want to put your heart and soul into it, that play 12 hours a day, and also has a history of winning and championships. I think that really matters. It's your resume. It's who you are. And I know there's a lot of people out there who think I suck. If you look at my performances this year, you're going to think I'm garbage because of a TENS game where I dropped 7 kills when I literally didn't even play Modern Warfare. And my thing is like, hey, if I can't even play the game, how am I supposed to be able to perform in the game? And I just like to think that if I'm on an equal playing level field, like if I could get practice in just like anyone else can, if I could be on a team just like anyone else can, then I'm going to be number 1. And I think that sometimes gets mistaken as arrogant, and that's okay. But I think the problem here is that this entire year, I was not able to play on a team. All of the practice I had this year was playing in TENS. And TENS is only just pickup games where there's a bunch of players kind of just running around and trying to have some fun, not really playing for a win. And for someone like me who really likes to play for wins and like winning a game, and not somebody who wants to play for my stats, I need to be playing for stats when I'm playing in TENS, because that's the only way you can get noticed by players. So, like, first of all, in the beginning of the year, I was supposed to be traveling with this team, the New York Subliners, to every single event, and I wasn't even supposed to be competing in Challengers. My coach contacted me early in the year asking about Challengers, just saying, hey, do you want to play in it? And I said, well, yeah, but if we're going to play in it, we need to have an academy team, because early in the year, the understanding that I had of the rules around Challengers when I asked the league was that your team must have an academy team in order for you to play in the Challengers, which is basically the league under the Pro League. And in order to do that, you have to salary all of these players. So I'm thinking in my head, my owner's going to have to dish out like $250,000 for the year just so that I could play Call of Duty and stay fresh. I think that's a waste of money. I'm not going to make my owner pay money that I think is a waste. I'd rather just play TENS and just get some pickup practice there and watch my team scrims, play Search and Destroy, play some TENS. And, you know, I'll be good enough and I'll be ready to go when the time's needed. But unfortunately, I couldn't play TENS because nobody wanted to pick me in TENS. Like, I couldn't get picked even if I tried. I couldn't get picked even if I bribed somebody at that point. Like, it was so bad where it's like, if you're not playing on a team, you're just not even of use. And it's kind of crazy to me to think that I'm a contracted professional in a league where I'm getting paid very well to be a substitute, to be able to like sub in, but there's no proper way of getting practice. And the only proper way you can really get practice in Call of Duty, you can't blame your team or your teammates or your ownership or whatever, or the league. Like, the only actual way, and I hope the league is watching this, I think they will, the only actual way a substitute can get practice in Call of Duty is by playing in Challengers unrestricted with whoever they want to play with. Because if you're a professional on a sport team, like say basketball or football or something, and you're like not a starter, you're like a second string in football, or you're like a bench player or a role player in basketball. Like, I was just watching a clip from the NBA bubble. There are bench players on the Nuggets that never get playing time, on the Denver Nuggets, the NBA team. who are literally guarding the star player on the Nuggets. So they're practicing against this guy every day. Like, I wish I could have the luxury where I'm scrimming against accuracy and temp and zoom and attach and mac every single day, because then I could play with them and play against them and talk to them and talk about timings and talk about little like routes in the game and strategies. But that's not a thing in Call of Duty esports. So the league set up the rules this year where you had to have an academy team, and then the understanding that I had changed. And I don't know where this miscommunication happened from, but then it was you can't play with other substitutes that are on other pro league teams. So you're limited to only playing with players that you never knew. So I'm looking at it like, okay, well, I'm just going to go and play in Challenger 10s, and I'm going to work my way up, and I'm going to just wait until I get an opportunity with the team that I believe in. So unfortunately, that moment came in like May. You know, like I'm 7 months into this game, more than halfway through the year, without having any organized team practice, without having any clear understanding of the way that I could get back to the top level, and without being really like set, you know, to do anything. You know, like I'm just set up for failure no matter what. Like if I'm playing on the New York Subliners as a starter, I'm going to get smoked because I haven't been able to get any practice. And if I'm playing in Challengers, nobody wants to play with me because I wasn't able to get any practice. Now, fortunately for someone like me, guys, I'm a bull, and I put my head down and I go to work, and I play this game so much, and I put in so much time to it, that I was able to get a tryout with Triumph, like I said, and I killed it, and I was able to get on the team, which is a miracle. Like, I am so proud of the fact that those players believed in me and gave me a chance. And I have nothing but great things to say about all of them, because despite what anyone else thinks of me, or whatever the community or the fans or whoever, I don't care, thinks of me, Triumph, which is literally like the number 1, number 2, top 3 team in Challengers with players that I've known and respected for years, believed in me, and they gave me a chance. And with 1 week of team practice, we were able to get 4th in the most competitive Call of Duty you could get outside of the Pro League. And that's with 1 week of team practice. My logic is, what if we could get 2 weeks? What if we could get 3 weeks? What if we could get 4 weeks? Now, unfortunately, Triumph needed an assault rifle player, and I haven't had enough practice on this game in their eyes. So they're like, yo, Doug, like we need an AR, and we could work with you going into champs, but we really need an AR. So the meta just changed. Like, I joined Triumph right as the meta changed. And they're like, we really got to do this. We're sorry, Doug. Like, we love you. We all know that you're a great player. There's no doubt that you'll be smoking everybody if you could play from day one. But it just sucks that you couldn't get any practice this year. So I'm just really mostly disappointed in the fact that I was asking for answers throughout the entire league, my coach, my ownership, and it just felt like every time I would try to get an answer, I couldn't get an answer. And there was no set way for me to get better, because I have really thick skin, guys, and I have no problem with people roasting me if I get 7 kills in a scrim. I think it's hilarious, and I want to actually make content around it. But I'm stressing all the time over the fact that I'm trying to get practice in any way that I can, and I'm trying to play with players that are good and competent, but it's so hard to do that when you're so far behind in a year. And now I'm just looking at it like, damn, my resume for this game is I played in a variant tournament online, and I beat the team that won the LA Challenger event. This is the week after LA, right before COVID, and I got 2nd. And then I played in the Challengers Cup with Triumph, and I got 4th, which isn't really that bad if you look at it in terms of like your resume. But I just know how much more I'm capable of if I'm able to play with a team and go. And I just think that because the league just started and it is year 1, they were looking at it in a completely different way. I don't think that they realized how important substitutes could have potentially been going into this year, because we've seen a lot of different substitutes get opportunities this year, guys. Even Happy on our own team. So many substitutes got so many different opportunities. You know, you got Seattle starting, I think, 2 of them. You got Los Angeles Guerrillas picking up 3 new players using their sub Blast as a starter. You got, you know, so many different teams. Pristini moving to this other team, and then Florida picking up Awakening, Florida picking up Ferro, who obviously was a pro. You got Mac from New York getting picked up, being one of the most best players in the game. And this all really stems from being able to play the game with a team, even if it's in the Challenger level. But for me personally, the rules were set out so that if I was a substitute, competing in Challengers only could happen if New York had an academy team. And the way that I understood the rule is that they had to pay for that academy team, and I wasn't going to allow my team to pay for an academy team just so I could get practice. But looking at it now and looking back at it, it's like this rule should have been pre-discussed. It should have been changed, and it should have been altered before it even became a thing. Like, I think there should have been more consideration into it, because the result of this rule ended up with me personally. I know there's many other players. I'm speaking for many other substitutes in this league, many other players out there too. This year has literally been me playing Call of Duty. I'm not kidding you guys. 14 hours a day. 12, 14 hours a day, watching VODs, watching scrims. I'm watching Chicago Huntsman scrims every single day. I'm watching New York Subliner scrims. I spent like 2 months sitting in our scrims every single day watching us. Playing in 10s, being the first one ready to go in 10s, not getting picked in 10s for like 5 hours, and then finally getting a series in when it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And at this point, I'm just so fried and tired where it's like, I can't even play the game. Like, guys, I could promise you I pushed myself so hard this year. I could not have put in more effort despite the circumstances I was having to go through to be able to prove myself. And I just feel like nothing really was able to come from this. And my biggest fear, my biggest concern moving into year 2 of franchising is everybody's going to want to look back at your year of Modern Warfare and think, well, we're going to see you got 7 kills in that scrim versus the Huntsman. Yeah, you played in that one tournament and you really shit the bed there, despite you guys got 4th. But then you had that game with Formal, that clip with the 7 kills. Like, this is actually what people think, because I literally didn't get a franchise spot this year because of an old clip saying that I was missing practice for a jet ski, which was just a lie. So that's why I feel the way I feel, guys, and that's why I come off the way that I come off. So I don't want to make excuses for anything or anybody, guys. I love putting in work, and I love proving myself, and I'll do it any day of the week. I'll do it tomorrow if I have to, and I'm going to continue to do that this year. But it just really is really, really shitty just knowing that I came into this year with the expectation of having a set path of working my way up the ladder. I've done it so many times. I'll do it a million times over. And I just felt like there was so many restrictions as a sub. I literally couldn't play the game on a team level until May. Like, it's just crazy to me, man. And for me, like, I'm trying to use my brand and my YouTube channel and my Twitch and my Instagram and my Twitter and everything, my whole following, everything that I've been able to build throughout winning in Call of Duty, throughout making consistent content on the internet, to grow this league and to get our viewership going from 50,000 viewers to 150,000 to 300,000, to mentoring my teammates on how they could grow their own social media brands so they could all have careers outside of Call of Duty. And again, like, I want to make Call of Duty a forever thing. And it just feels like with the way that it was all set up, it would have been better off for me to not be a substitute on a team and just literally play through challengers as FaZe Censor and just going with the flow and playing with some of the top talent in there and most likely getting a call up. But it's all speculation, and I can't go back and change the past. I can only look forward to the future. But what I can say to you guys is that I feel like I left some of you in the dark. I feel like I haven't been able to, like, constantly give you guys updates and clarity on my situation this year as a player. And a lot of that is really because I don't have it myself. I want to tell you guys what I'm going through. I want to tell you guys what I'm doing and keep you guys in the loop. But this whole year was just so much miscommunication. And I know the league is working on this. I've had active, at long length discussions with them, and I know moving forward, a lot of these issues that I had to deal with personally and many other substitutes, many other players had to deal with, are not going to have to deal with going forward, which is great. It's just really disheartening to know that I'm going into a new year in Call of Duty where I'm not even going to be considered to be a starter by many people because they're just going to look at me as some joke who didn't play in Black Ops 4 and didn't do anything in Modern Warfare. So it's like, well, here we go again. We're going to have to start again from the ground up, which is okay. But again, it's just super disappointing when I came into this year ready to go from day one, just putting in 12-hour, 14-hour days. And I know the potential that I have as a player when I'm putting in these times and the passion. When you combine the passion, the past experience of winning, and the work ethic, it's just impossible for you not to have success. And that doesn't just go for me, guys. That goes for anybody. If you really want something in life, if you have a passion for it and you put in the work for it, especially if you had a history of winning at the highest level, in whatever you're going to do in your life, if you had success in something, if you have the passion and if you have the work ethic, you're going to continue to have success in it. And that's exactly what's going to happen to me, despite all the controversy and all the memes and all the criticism that I get, and some of it is warranted, I understand. I just know who I am and I know what I bring to a team, and I'm going to be able to prove it. It just felt like I couldn't this year. I had 4 scrims with the New York subliners throughout the whole year, and then I had 1 week of practice on Triumph, and we're in July, and Champs is coming up in less than a month. This game is almost over, and I had a combined 10 team scrim sessions on Modern Warfare. And I've been actively trying to play the game every day. You guys see me in every stream, not getting picked in 10s, just getting bullied by people, and I just take it and I just go. And it's like, dude, like, I don't want to have, if anyone feels sorry for me, I don't want to feel sorry for me. I just feel like, if anything, I'm wasting my time, and I don't want to waste time. I want to be able to make content. I want to be able to play with the team. And this whole year to me was just putting in so much time to not have any way of improving or any form of a path to have success at another level in it. It just was so much miscommunication and so much disappointment. Moving forward for these next few weeks of the tournaments, I'm going to be playing with a good team in challengers. I'm going to do everything I can to be the best player, teammate, everything, guys. I'm going to give this thing my heart and soul. I put in so much time this year to be the best player I could be. I played really well in the scrims of the New York subliners. In the tournament I had with Triumph, we got 4th, which isn't bad. They got 8th the tournament before me. We got 4th when I joined them. They just got 2nd with their new player. I wish all those guys the best. They are the only people on this game, I could promise you guys. These guys on Triumph were literally the only players in this entire game who believed in me, who actually wanted to give me a chance. And I have nothing but great things to say about them because they are the most incredible teammates ever. And despite the fact that I'm benched and despite the fact I'm not playing with them at Champs, I know it's not personal. I know that they love me. I know that we all are great friends and we could be great teammates and do great things. But I understand the situation. I understand what happened. The meta changed. They need a new AR. They feel like I'm behind with practice. I totally get it, guys. And I'm just so happy that I was able to get a chance somewhere because this entire year for me, honestly, I haven't even been able to fail. And I think in life it's very important to fail. You have to fail because you have to pick yourself back up. And I haven't even had an opportunity to try and fail. And that's really where I get irked. And that's really where I get annoyed because I'm doing everything I can to put myself in a good situation. And it just feels like there's just a constant roadblock. So like I said, the end of this year, I'm going to finish it out strong with the team. I'm still trying to figure out who that team is going to be, but I'm going to finish it strong with these guys. I'm going to give this last event everything that I have, and I'm going to move forward. And day one of next year, I am not going through the same issues I went through this year because this is setting you up for immediate purgatory where you're just stressed. I am literally going to have a decreasing hairline by next year at this time, and I am going to be miserable, and I am not going to allow that to happen. So that's the update on everything, guys. It is what it is, and there's not really much more I can honestly say about the situation. And I just want to know what you guys think in the comments. I know there's a lot of people out there who hate me, or they just like to hate me, or they just think that I don't know. Like I think the biggest thing is people think that I expect to be a starter and I expect to be like handed things. But if you ever talk to anybody on the New York Subliners, if you talk to anybody on Challengers, like I'm not that person. Like I'm very confident. I guess that sometimes gets misconstrued with arrogance. But, like, I want to work for things, you know? I've worked for everything that I had, and I don't want handouts in life. I don't like handouts. I want to work, and I want to prove myself. It just feels like a whole year went by where I didn't even have a chance to try to prove myself. And now it's almost too late. But I'm still going to make the most of it, guys. And hopefully we can do something great for Champs. And that would be an incredible story if we could come home with that chip. So I don't know who the team is yet, but I'll keep you guys posted with it. I got a lot of content coming. Unfortunately, going through this cycle of 14-hour days, not knowing what tomorrow is going to hold, is the most stressful thing in the world, and it sucks. But I'm not going to continue going down this path. I'm going to figure out a way of getting out of this cycle and putting myself in a better situation, having better clarity moving into year 2. I know the rules are changing because I've spoken to the league, and they are loosening up their rules for challengers specifically, which is great. But I feel like I just went through the most stressful year ever in terms of being a competitive Call of Duty player. It was just very difficult, very stressful, and at the same time I am grateful to be a part of the league. But man, like I'm telling you guys, if you went through the crap that a lot of us went through as subs, just not being able to play and not being able to have any opportunity to play, it's just, as a competitor, like that side of me, it really hurts. And that's really what I consume my life with every day. It's 12-hour days of COD, 8 hours of sleep. 4 hours for what? Like hanging out with my girlfriend, going for a quick dog walk, and then going back to the grind. Like this is your life at that point. Like COD is life. That's why when I tweet COD is life, I mean COD is life. So thank you guys all for just hearing me out and just hearing where I'm coming from with all this stuff. I'm going to do everything I can, like I said, to just be the best that I can be. And no matter how many times you get knocked down, guys, because trust me, there's a lot of people out there who want to hate me and want to knock me down. It's never going to happen. I will never fold. I will never quit. It's just not something that I'm accustomed to doing. I'm not a quitter. And when things get tough, I don't run. I stay right put. I figure it out, and I work my way back up. And that's what I've done my whole life. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a great day. It's been your boy, Doug Censor, and I'm out, guys. Peace.